Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here again as we are reaching the last 3 days of the 21-day reset and reboot. Sounds like it should be a dance. Have to keep our sense of humor. All right, so lots going on. I'm sure you can feel the energy building. There's a lot happening because of tomorrow's supermoon. It's really building. It's going to be the most powerful one of the whole 2020. So know that and prepare for it. And what I mean by prepare for it is that we want to do something really healing that isn't just about us. You know, I hear so many people saying, oh, well, I cleaned this and I did this and I'm getting rid of this and I love being at home. But remember, this isn't just about you and what you're doing in your environment. It's really about what are you doing to serve. Every one of you that is watching this is somebody that is supposed to be in service to the light, because you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't. And there's many ways to be in service, from sitting at home and doing prayers, or checking on people that maybe don't have any family or whatever. There's many ways. Cooking something for somebody and leaving it on their doorstep in the neighborhood, whatever. But I hear a lot about what people are doing for themselves. And it's not a judgment, it's just I'm noticing this, and I want to remind you is that you don't want to get back home on the other side after all is said and done in this lifetime and find out your big piece was to do something right now. And oh, by the way, I missed that because I was doing something else or watching this series on TV or whatever. And again, I'm not being like that, but that's what Spirit wanted me to talk about today. Okay? Just stepping forward. And it's almost like it's so interesting that this is Holy Week too. Because whether you follow it or not, or you believe in it or not, there is an intentional energy that goes out, because a lot of people do think of Jesus this week and Holy Week and all of that. So there is an intentional energy that goes out at this time for you to be in a place where you're looking at things in a different way, where you're doing inventory and really looking at, how can I be more loving? How can I give more? It's not about, oh, I'm going to use this time for whatever. It's about how can I be more giving and how can I be more loving? And every single day you should be taking some kind of action steps in that direction. There's still plenty that we can do from home to try to help out. If you are not even going outside your house at all, I still get out for a little walk with my mask and the dog and keep my social distancing just to change the energy. And I know I can see Parker Street from my house, and there's plenty of people traveling, so maybe they just need to get out for a little air. So look at what can be done. I saw one of my neighbors going around and going through like the wooded areas around here, and we live off of a street where a lot of people just throw stuff out their car window, and I saw her and her grandkids picking bottles up, picking things up, and servicing nature in that way in Gaia. But our jobs, our jobs, the ones that are still working from home, our job is just one thing. And for the rest that aren't working because of this divine timeout, I have to keep reminding myself, there's other things you can be doing. You're bored. How about sitting down and doing a rosary that goes out to end this, or whatever it is you personally believe in? But this is about a call to action. And Spirit really wanted me to get that through to everybody, because it's not just like a break where you're having a vacation and watching TV and not having to get dressed for a week. It's not about that. This is a call to action. And the call to action is to be proactive and do what you came here to do. We never can take, as we're learning, we can't take anything for granted. So we don't know, when our time's up. Not to be morbid or anything, but none of us knows that. And because of that, we're given each and every day to kind of make it right. What is it that we want to do? What feels right in our hearts? What is in alignment, or what is out of alignment that needs to be in alignment? So how about saying some prayers for someone else and just putting out for the Gaia and the whole earth and all its people? And how many of you are remembering to keep your picture of Earth here, of this planet, on your altars or in a place where you sit and you send energy out? I have my rose quartz chunk on top of it, for all the world and all its people and all its four-leggeds. So we're in that place of, we don't know. It's that uncertainty, and we could be in our divine timeout for another 4 months. We don't know. And so I don't want this to be wasted time, so to speak. If you're lucky enough to be at home and not one of the people that have to be on the front lines, the nurses or even the truckers, a big shout out to the truckers, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have food or everything else that comes cross country. So this is the time. So many people say, I don't have time to meditate. Oh, I don't have time to create an altar. I don't have time to do this. Well, now you've got time. And even those of us who are still working, we still have time. So, you have to make the time. You have to make a commitment. And I told you on one of the other, I forget what it was, whether it was a conference call or what I was doing, but talking about recommitting to the light. I recommit to the light because we want to bring the light into the darkness. The light will win. The light will win this battle. But if our egos are invested and we're more worried about what's happening with a TV show or, whatever it is, that is not the order of importance. The order of importance is stand up, claim your light, because you have a lot of light. And you have been so trained for this moment in time to be aware and awake, and that we can truly be in the magnificence of who our soul was meant to be. And for those of you that are still working from home, remembering that even if it's, I have 10 minutes a day, those 10 minutes, we talked about reset. That's a reset. You sit, you get quiet, you close your eyes, and you're quiet. The phone's out of the room. You're in a place, even if you have to do it in the bathroom, if you've got a bunch of kids at home, just go in the bathroom and shut the door and be in there for 10 minutes. And you would think, we talked about 144,000 that we need to go over that mark in order to be in a place of using the light fully and to step into who we are. Because if we had 144,000 people in the light, we were told that this would be a time of the light really coming through and the light winning. So what I want to say to you is, we don't have 144,000 yet. So we need each one of you to do what you need to do. Do your part and stand up for the light and do what you came here to do, because that's what's most important at this time. Ask somebody else if they need help. Reach out to people. Even if you're just checking in with people, somebody's going to be so happy that if you checked in with them, if they lived alone or they were elderly or they're young and live alone, how about just picking up the phone and checking in with them? That would be amazing, and you would make someone's day. And that doesn't cost you anything but a moment of your time. So this is really a time when I want to say to you, the importance of this is like no other time. We've had civilizations that have gone down before. Many of you have been in them. Atlantis, Lemuria, all of that. And this is a time that we need to get it right. We've gone through it before. Those were the dry runs. We learned from our mistakes as the whole civilization went down. But now we're in a different place. We're supposed to be looking at things in a whole different light and just being there so we can do our part. And you know, I often say this, it's like having a giant puzzle, and each one of us has our own part. And if you don't do your part to put that puzzle piece in, we're not going to get to where we need to be. So continue to do your prayers for everyone and the planet. Still have Archangel Michael around, cutting everything that's negative with his blue flame sword. Mother Mary wanted to come in today as the beautiful divine feminine energy. And I'm going to spray myself with some of the Metatron spray. And it's got this beautiful, my friend told me it has a beautiful healing label on that. So I'm going to face that towards you. Still continue with your candles, bringing in the light. Every time you see that candle, it's like holding the intention for what you've put out. So let's go to our cards today. This is Rebecca Campbell. Oh, Lemuria. Isn't that funny? That was the civilization that I was talking about. It says, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Lemuria, or Mu, is one of the earth's lost lands where heaven really was a place on earth. I think of that song, Heaven is a Place on Earth. A time before we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. In Lemuria, life worked in harmony. All beings were seen as equal, and we were deeply reverent to Mother Earth. We knew that a mosquito was no worse than us, and the sun no better. Perhaps you too believe that heaven really can be a place on earth. Perhaps you are part of the transition team who at soul level are devoted to creating this kind of harmony on the planet now. Thank you for wanting to do the work. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the state of affairs on the planet right now, but you are being encouraged to keep holding the clear vision of the future. It is closer than you think. You may be guided to hold the frequency of Lemuria in your own community, family, workplace, or within yourself. Know that it is possible, and while at times it may feel like you are alone, you truly are not. There are hundreds of thousands who hold the codes of this ancient lost land, and even Lemurian crystals that hold the codes of remembering that are beginning to rise all over the planet. Keep doing what you are doing, and remember, the only way to heal the world around us is first to heal ourselves. It says, I hold the codes of Lemuria and believe that heaven really can be a place on earth. Love that. So we can bring it back. In times of these transitions, it's really important to let things go, to know that this too shall pass. And when we get back out there and we're doing whatever we're doing, that we don't ever want to forget that we're in service first, not to ourselves, but to everyone else. Okay, and Lemuria, what they talked about with the codes, the crystals, all the crystals have been in the earth forever. So when you think of the crystals coming out of the earth with all the earth energy and having all the codes here, every code, every information packet that has to do with what we were before and who we were before, and all of that is in these crystals. So what happens is when a crystal returns to you, and I believe it's happening more and more, meaning when you find a crystal that you're drawn to and you buy it, there's something in there, that codes of light that are trying to come back to you. So it's really interesting, because when you sit and sometimes you rub it and you just sit with it, meditate with it, you will get information, totally get information from the crystal. And it's as if it captured all information from all civilizations, and it's in there. And the crystal holds the secrets. So when you meditate on them or whatever, you ask to see the truth or to receive it. And when you pay attention to crystals, it's not just taking them and placing them on a shelf and never touching them again or whatever, although the energy of the crystals will definitely hold in your room and add a beautiful energy. These are living beings. So we want to talk to them, we want to cleanse them, we want to be in a place where we can ask for the information that we need at this time. And hopefully we learn, because in the future, someone else will find crystals from the earth that will talk about what is going on right now and what happened and what the outcome really was. So that's interesting to me. Next one from Rebecca, called Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step it up. What did they tell me to talk about today? Stepping it up. You came to earth with a double mission, to grow as a soul and to bring about a shift in consciousness. The best way to fulfill this personal and collective purpose is to trust that it is your soul calling you forward, for it is encoded with the most direct path forward. Your soul has many unique gifts that it came here to share. Some of you may already be aware of, others you're just beginning to uncover. You're being called to remember that your soul intelligently chose the perfect conditions to carry out your soul mission and share your soul's gift. If you're being called towards a creative project, a passion, or an adventure, this card's your confirmation that you're facing the right way and that this moment right here is destined. So there it is. If you're feeling unprepared or thinking, who am I to do this? This card is guiding you to step up, leap, and consider perhaps that your soul has been training for this moment right here for lifetimes. And I believe that. It says, I call forth the soul gifts and the soul training that I've received throughout all my lifetimes. I'm ready to embody them all now without hesitation or fear. I fully commit to belong here now. I'm ready to step into my soul's highest and most potent calling. I've been training for this for lifetimes. Isn't that lovely? So exactly what we were talking about, that this is about training for lifetimes and knowing that you can't fail. You just got to take action. The next card is from Cryon's deck. Exist and love God. My goal and life purpose is simply to exist and love God. The love of God creates passion and purpose within my life. So that's an interesting one. So connecting with spirit on a daily basis. The next one's from John Holland. Moving on. You're about to embark on a much-needed journey to leave the past behind. This card lets you know there's light at the end of the tunnel, and it signifies that the time has arisen in which a difficult cycle in your life is coming to an end. In the traditional tarot, this card implies traveling or going forward, involving crossing water or even moving ahead. Calmer waters are ahead, and with all lessons you've learned from past experiences, you're approaching this period having grown, and you're so much stronger for it. The healing process is underway, and now you can set your goals, desires, and objectives to secure a more positive and successful future. Because your mind is more settled and less worried, synchronistic events will bring the right conditions and introduce people into your life for the highest good. So that's really interesting. And the last one for today, and I know I've pulled from 5 different ones. This is by Stephen Farmer. Gorilla. It's from his Animal Spirit Guides one. And it says, take the time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially family members. What's the theme for today? The bond between family members can gradually decay and become stultified unless it's continually nourished with loving attention. And one of the simplest yet most elegant ways of showing that attention is to listen compassionately to those who you care about the most. Otherwise, you risk taking them for granted, assuming they'll always be there and that they know you love them. Take time to have a conversation, starting with relatively superficial topics, then moving into more in-depth personal themes, adding your own tidbits, but primarily focusing on what other people have to say. Show your spouse, partner, children, parents, or elders your love by listening and really hearing what they have to say about how they feel and what they think. This not only generates a deeper, more lasting affection between you and the other person, but far exceeds glibly saying I love you with no real feeling behind it. People are constantly changing and evolving, adding new experiences and insights. Who somebody is today, while built on a foundation of a core self, changes and is continuously elaborating on the core belief. Find the newness and freshness in those who you love, which includes both your biological and marital families, and I would say our tribes too, as well as your close friends who you informally adopted as family. Other associations: intelligence, peacefulness, family, strength, nobility, generosity, gentleness, calmness, vegetarianism, loyalty, patience, dexterity, steadiness, scrutiny, and conversation. So we've got some really good cards. Again, they always amaze me at how whatever topic, because I don't read what the cards are until after everything, what the topic's going to be, but here we are. So just give it some thought today and really step it up. What's your contribution? And again, as if your guides and master teachers are sitting right there next to you and looking at, oh, that's really nice that she did a load of laundry today, but what else is she doing to contribute? Okay? Think about it. You're doing a great job. Just step it up. Bye for now.